Good morning, students. I'm Marcia, your teacher in Cookery 10. We are now going to discuss all about soups. Do you know that soups is being served before the main dish? Why do you think soups is being served before the main dish? Do you have any idea? Let us now go to classifications of soups. There are two classifications of soups. The first is the clear soups, and the second is the thick soup. So let us first discuss all about clear soups. Clear soups are based on a clear and thickened broth or stock. They may be served plain or garnished with a variety of vegetables and meat. They are very similar to stocks, except that broths are based on meats rather than bones, so that they are richer and have more defined flavor. Another type of clear soup is what you call the broth and bouillon. These are simple clear soup without solid ingredients. Broth and bouillons are similar to stock in technique and in cooking time. The major distinction between broth and stock is that broths can be served as is, whereas stocks are used in production of other dishes. So again, broth can be used as a soup and can be served without solid ingredients, whereas the stocks are used in production of other dishes. Another thin soup is the vegetable soup. This is a clear seasoned stock or broth with the addition of one or more vegetable, meat, or poultry. And another type of clear stock is the consommé. This is a rich, flavorful stock or broth that has been clarified to make it perfectly clear and transparent. Number 2 type of soup is the thick soups. Thick soups are soups that are thickened to provide a heavier consistency. Thick soup is a cream soup based on bechamel sauce and is finished with a heavy cream. A bechamel sauce is a milk thickened with roux, but some thick soups are velouté, sauce-based stock thickened with roux. Now, do you know what roux are made of? Now, roux is made of a flour and a butter. So let's now talk about the different kinds of thick soup. Under the different type of thick soup, we have the cream soups. Cream soups are soups that are thickened with roux, beurre money, liaison, or other thickening agents, plus milk or cream. Under these cream soups, we have the purees, the bisque, chowder, and veloutés. Purees are vegetable soup thickened with starch, while the bisque are thickened soups made from shellfish. The chowders are hearty soups made from fish, shellfish, or vegetables, usually contain milk and potatoes. And veloutés are soup thickened with egg, butter, and cream. Another type of cream soup is the gazpacho. It is a cold tomato-based soup made with cucumber, onions, green peppers, and garlic from Spain. We also have the bouillabaisse. It is a soup containing at least 3 kinds of fish, mirepoix, and herbs and spices. And another type of cream soup is the borscht. It is a cold beet soup from Russia. It is commonly served with a dollop of sour cream. Aside from the 2 types of soup that I made mention, aside from the clear soup and the cream soup, we also have other types of soups. And this is what you call the dessert soup. Under this dessert soup, we have the ginataan. It is a Filipino soup made from coconut milk or fruit and tapioca pearl, and it's served hot or cold. Okay, we have also the ushiriko. It's a Japanese azuki bean soup. Then we also have a soup from Chinese or from China, and it's a Chinese soup which is the tunggi soup. Another type of soup is the fruit soup. Fruit soup can be served hot or cold depending on the recipe, where dried fruits are used like raisins and prunes. Fruit soup may include milk, sweet or savory dumplings, spices, or alcoholic beverages like brandy and champagne. Another type is the cold soup. It is a variation of the traditional soup, wherein the temperature when served is kept at a very or below temperature. And the last type is the Asian soup. It is a traditional soup which is typical broth, clear soup, or starch thickened soup. So we have been talking about soup. We have talked already the different kinds of soups, the ingredients of soups, the classifications of soups. So now let's move on to how are we going to prepare soup. So let us now talk about the principles of preparing soup. The first principle is you are going to start with a cold water. Why cold water? We have to start with a cold water because most protein, vitamins, and minerals dissolve in cold water. Part of the flavor comes from these components. So when you're going to use hot water, it would lessen the flavor and the nutritive content of stock. The second principle is to cut vegetable to approximate size for the type of stock. The size of cut helps the maximum flavor to be extracted. For example, if you're going to have a fish stock, naturally you're going to have a cut of a julienne, which is a thin strips of 1/4 inch thick and 2 to 3 inches long. As you know, the meat of the fish will be cooked only to 30 minutes. So that is why you only have to have the cut of a julienne cut. Then another example is, for example, you're going to have a brown stock. Now you can use a cut of the vegetable like the cube cut, because brown stock will be simmered for 4 to 6 hours and sometimes even 24 hours. Select your protein base. You have beef, chicken, pork, fish. All bones are washed, roasted or blanched. Roasted for brown sauce and blanched for white stock. The fourth principle is to simmer. Simmer keep food just below boiling when cooking or heating it. Gentle extraction aid the flavor and nutrition. Boiling causes cloudiness through agitation of the ingredients. The fifth principle is to skim. Skimming is to remove a substance from the surface of a liquid. This is to keep your stock clear. Now, when you see that the stock is already boiling, you're going to skim the bubbles on the surface. Let's now move on to the cooking procedure on soups. So, this is all about cooking meats, poultry, and fish. Cuts of meat that are less tender should be added early in the cooking process. And poultry needs to be added early enough so that it cooks thoroughly. But for the fish should be added at the end of the cooking process, as you know that fish are easily cooked. For grain and pasta, allow a little more time in cooking. For beans and legumes, you're going to soak beans, lentils, and black-eyed peas. Then you should add water or liquid so that they will be fully cooked. For dense or starchy vegetables, a small dice cut of potatoes, carrots, and winter squashes will require 30 to 45 minutes to cook, while the green vegetables, they are only added during the final cooking, that is 15 to 20 minutes of cooking the soup.